All right, Shalom. First and foremost, all praises and glories unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Harakakadash, that belongs to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone, and greetings, salutations, and blessings unto the elect. Shalom unto you. All right, brother Squad here, with a quick video. It's a movie convo, if you will, a spiritual eye view on the movie, and some, a few talking points, but I'm gonna try to stick to a strict time, table, not make it super long, because a lot of these movies, man, you start digging into them, they so many layers that you can now open up and see. This being another one, okay? So for you that have seen it, this is it here. Okay, that's the title and the different characters and so on and so forth. Morgan Freeman, I believe his name is I know his name is gonna say it. Tim Robbins. Yep. So I'll read this part, and then I'll go into the spiritual aspects of it. As I watch, which I'm sure different people see different things, but there's some points that I like to kind of guide and to take a look at the next time you see it. Okay, it says Andy Dufresne. Yeah, that's what they said in the movie, how they pronounced it. It says the main character is sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms in prison for the murders of his wife and her lover, and is sentenced to a tough prison. However, only Andy knows he didn't commit the crimes. While there, he forms a friendship with Red, Morgan Freeman, and just to touch on Morgan Freeman as Red, he was supposed to be a Native American. Okay, and I believe this was up in Maine, and I believe your boy, Stephen King wrote this. Great movie, man. Anyway, it says, however, only Andy knows he didn't commit the crimes. While there, he forms a friendship with Red, Morgan Freeman, experiences brutality of prison life, adapts, helps the warden, etc., all in 19 years. Okay, and that gives a lot of it. Okay, of the movie there. Now, like I said, Morgan Freeman, smooth-faced Jake, I think he was a native, either Reubenite. I think he actually is a Reubenite anyway. But Reubenite, Gadite, something to that effect. Red, is what they called him, because they called Native Americans red. But we know Esau loves to play with that coloring box and label everybody. But like you said, all in 19 years. So I'm going to get to it, and there are spoilers in this, because the review spoiled it to an extent already. Yeah, I'll go this is Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 11. It says, I returned, KJV on the left, and I'll read the NLT on the right. It says, and I returned and saw under the sun that the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, neither yet bread to the wise, nor yet riches to men of understanding, nor yet favor to men of skill, but time and chance happen to them all. All right. Now, NLT, the literary translation. I have observed something else under the sun. The fastest runner doesn't always win the race. The warrior and the strongest warrior doesn't always win the battle. The wise sometimes go hungry, and the skillful are not necessarily wealthy. And who are and those who are educated don't always lead successful lives. It is all decided by chance, by being in the right place at the right time, because the Most High is ruling over us and putting us in certain situations. Okay, a great. I'm not going to go deep into it, but I'm going to reference it with Joseph. Okay, the youngest brother of the 12 patriarchs. Okay, his brothers. All of that happened by chance, that the Most High would divide up the brothers, and then send Joseph sold off into slavery into Egypt. He grew and became a great man in Egypt. So by the time the brothers came down during the famine, the dearth that was going on, to buy from Egypt, because Joseph was there to discern the dream of the 7 plenteous years and then the 7 years of famine. So when they got down there in the 7 famine years, Joseph was able to help his brothers that came down. Okay, basically help his family. The Most High put time and chance for situations for all that. Another scripture says, the Most High required that which is past, and it's in the same book. Okay, so you got to see life like that. We've been put in these terrible situations of captivity, which captivity is a prison, right? Tying back to the movie, that we may show our obedience and our faith toward the Most High. So when we get the power, we're not going to abuse it. We're going to already have been practicing and rehearsing the righteous acts within our these chains of darkness. So when we get the immortal bodies, we'll be able to understand more so. Having lived both lives. Okay? The poor life and now the wealthy life, so to speak. Okay, but more so wealthy in the sense of the Most High making us wealthy. Okay, and so this was something that Andy Dufresne in the movie brought to the rest of the prison characters. Well, they all had a defeat mentality. He came quoting books and highly educated, playing Mozart to the prison, and really uplifting them. Had them open up a library, which a library is full of books, and the Bible basically breaks down to books. The word I'm talking about, Bible. All right, so he's opened their mind with those different things, music, and now there's all these things happening. Okay, and I won't give all the details, but if anybody has seen this movie, you know that no matter what anybody tells you about the movie, there's so many different situations and scenes and layers to the movie that it's always enjoyable. Okay, verse 12, back in KJV. For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it suddenly falleth upon them. All right? People can never predict when hard times might come. Like fish in the net or birds in a trap, people are caught by sudden tragedy. Okay? And then if you would have, if I would have read up, you'll see that you got to do your best at all times, man. You do your best at all times. These situations come, but you prevail through them, and you see by changing your mind state. Yeah, we're coming into the worst times in history, okay, on the earth. But what are we told to do? To rejoice, because the kingdom of heaven cometh. Let no man take your crown. Okay, he that overcometh. These words pop up throughout the Bible. Okay, particularly speaking unto the elect. All right, and so as we learn them and they're spoken to us, we're going to take them and speak it to others, men that believe. Okay, and that cycle is huge. That's what he showed them in the prison. Okay, and just to show it that way from a prison standpoint. Now, I actually had clicked on one of the links to something. There was a couple scriptures read in the book. Now, here's the beautiful part that I want to do about that race to the swift. Now he had in there, well, actually, it's gonna read it. Let me get it. Okay, Shawshank Redemption, 1994. All right, and there's a Bible verse because Andy Dufresne, he is gonna say, "Who can forget the image at the end of the film of the Bible with the perfectly cut out space for Andy's rock hammer? He had a rock hammer that he chiseled his way out of the prison. Took him 19 years to do it. But he's in there for 2 life sentences. And when he bought the hammer, he said, what are you going to do, break yourself out? It's going to take you forever. And at the end he said, it only took me 19 years, which he had nothing but time. He'd be there. As long as it took. But he started on the focus. That's why you got to remember the race is not to the swift. Okay? Some things it takes time to build serious things. Okay? So the Bible double does double duty in the film too, playing on two different takes on the word salvation. The warden tells Andy to read the Bible, telling him that salvation lies within. Okay, basically within himself, which is something that we got to understand. This is where the kingdom of heaven starts. It starts inside of us. Okay, with the mentality of living righteous life. Rehearsing the righteous acts to the best of our ability. Being good to all people whenever possible. Okay, making your enemies become at peace with you. Okay, not making them, but just if you do the right things, man, these things begin to happen. Okay. But that rock hammer was huge in the film, and he was saying, no, this is for when I like chess, so I want to carve out some chess pieces. I find rocks in the yard, and that's when I get them and I start carving them, which he was doing that. But at some points of the night, he would go in there and work to get that poster. I mean, underneath the poster, to get that to be chiseling away with the hole. Okay. He says, reading on this, it says, of course, by salvation, the religious hypocrite warden means salvation of the soul through Christ, which Bible reading presumably leads to. Okay? Because the warden still think he was guilty, that he killed that, so he's like, you need this, right? It said the warden, let me start up. Where is it? Yep. For Andy, salvation does lie within the Bible, but in a literal way. It's where he hid his means of escape, that rock hammer. And when you see the scene with Red, played by Morgan Freeman, tells, hey, I don't know what you got. Don't come at me. Like, this is, you didn't get this from me. That's one of them ones. They find this place, they gonna kill you type of, like, it's serious if they find this hammer. Anyway, it says Randy does like literally say it's where he hid his means of escape safely out of reach of the inspections. And they would have random inspections going in there, but they wouldn't really mess with his Bible because it was held sacred, right? So the warden gets clued in on that in one of those deeply satisfying scenes at the end of the movie, when he opens up his Bible and sees that. Said and he left that. He actually left that in his safe, the warden's safe. Anyway, it says, profoundly philosophical as we are, it makes Smoop, I guess that's how you say it, think of the real meaning of salvation. The warden's version is shallow and generic. Read some Bible verses and you're good to go, regardless of how you actually behave. The difficult path, Andy's version, is to save yourself by persevering, hanging on to what you can of your integrity, and keeping those little flickers of hope burning in the face of degradation and despair. Okay, we are so deep. Now, let me go to the next page. Okay, I found it. He actually quoted a Bible verse the warden did in the movie, which says, it was Mark chapter 13, verse 35. He says, I've always liked that one, but I prefer, I am the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life. And you can see with the look in the warden's face and in his eye, he was talking about, like, he was that shepherd, to follow, for people to follow after. When you follow him, things are good. Talking about for you with the warden, because he only knew prison life, and but let me go to Mark 13:35. Okay, I'll start at 32. Mark chapter 13, verse 32. But of that day and that hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels which are in heaven, neither the Son, talking about Yahushua, but the Father Yahweh. NLT. However, no one knows the day or hour when these things will happen, not even the angels in heaven or the Son himself, Yahushua himself. Only the Father knows. 33 KJV. Take ye heed, watch and pray, for ye know not when the time is. Meaning, watch the prophecies, right? And we're watching the prophecies come to pass, man. So all this time we've been building up our faith. We've been chiseling away at the confines of the world. We've been freed. Okay, it said that you shall know the truth, and the truth will make you free. These are the things that we've been building with this word week in and week out, going out in the streets and teaching, reading, studying, sacrificing, our lives. Okay, studying in the different Hebrew and the different languages, the Greek, so on and so forth, the etymology of things, of words. Denying ourselves of certain fleshly desires and pleasures that we can win spiritually. Okay, things like that. It says, NLT 33, it says, and since you don't know when that time will come, be on guard, stay alert. KJV 34. The Son of Man is as a king, the Son of Man is as a man taking a far journey, who left his house and gave authority to his servants and to every man his work, and commanded the porter to watch. Right? He gave all these jobs to do. This is what we're doing now. Okay? So the coming of the Son of NLT, the coming of the Son of Man can be illustrated by the story of a man going on a long trip. When he left home, he gave each of his servants instructions about the work they were to do, and he told the gatekeeper to watch for his return. Okay? KJV, watch ye therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house cometh, at even, or at midnight, or at the cock crowing, or in the morning. You, NLT, you too must keep watch, for you don't know when the master of the house will return, in the evening, at midnight, before dawn, or at daybreak. 36 KJV, lest coming suddenly he find you sleeping. Don't let him find you sleeping when he arrives without warning. Okay? It says, and what I shall say unto you, I say unto all, watch. As NLT 37, I say to you what I say to everyone, watch for him. Okay? So you have to understand, there's some footnotes in the Greek there. You started further up. Okay? But and that's why he put that in there in his Bible, because he didn't know. He knew that the warden would be watching, but if he stayed ahead of him, he'd be all right. And we're staying ahead of Esau in the prophecies, man, because we see him come. We're preparing to take the blow, take the hit. Okay, we're preparing ourselves spiritually more than anything. Okay, does that mean don't exercise, get your body ready? No, it means get you a few items, but don't put your salvation and your physical strength. Don't, like as it said in the race is not to the swift nor to the mighty, the battle to the mighty. So on and so forth. You got to really strengthen your spirit in this. Okay. So and then pay attention. I just want to bring this scripture out that he had in there, and then but the warden precepted him and hit him with something heavy. It was funny how he did him. Like basically, I'm the warden. Don't overstep. Don't worry about going around me. If you work with me, things work out. And so I just want to bring that out. It's a great movie, as we saw in it be coming on some channels. It's always available. Seem like these movies are always coming on nowadays, which is a good thing. Good thing to watch them. So if you just want some downtime, you can still keep your spiritual eye open. Watching these certain movies, there's things in them. So I didn't just show apocalyptic, dystopian type movies. There's also just regular drama movies that are, there's certain action movies and drama movies that still hit the points in this, man. Let's not forget that the script comes out of the scriptures, okay? Most great scripts come right out the scriptures, all right? Or some narrative form version of the scriptures, and they're rarely accurate to the T, but they give a certain, they don't always put the roles where we know the scriptures have them and all that, but you can see through a lot of these things if you keep that spiritual eye open. So Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to give all praise and glories unto Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Arakakwadash, double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone, and greetings, salutations, and blessings unto the elect. Until the next one, Shalom.